So I don't normally do filming of myself. Various reasons really. But a very good friend of mine thinks that people should know about my story more. That lovely tree there. A lot of these trees are 200 and 300 years old. Anyway, let's not get off subject. No, I don't suppose I am your average normal person. So, a lot of people have seen what Elisa and I are trying to create here. I've had a couple of people ask me about some scars that I've got on my face. So, after speaking to a friend of mine as well, maybe it is time to sort of film and show people. I don't want sympathy. I'm not looking for sympathy. But I have been battered. In actual fact, quite a lot of my family on my mum's side has been battered with cancer. So my mum's actually finished radiotherapy for lung cancer. No, she doesn't smoke. So that literally finished. I was able to get to her last treatments. I should have been here. It was really bizarre actually, because the van broke down in the Eurotunnel. Well, in the car park, and I actually got stuck there for 29 hours. There was a really nice restaurant in there. I'm not going to mention names because they might get in trouble, but they actually fed and watered me free of charge. Such a lovely person. Anyway, yes, I could mention them and promote them, but then I could also get the manager in trouble, which is not what I want to be doing. So, my story. Well, so I trained as a chef and stayed in that business for, I don't know, 13 years, I think it was. Stress was getting too much. I started at 15, sort of peeling potatoes and stuff, and then I trained in SCAT in Taunton. And that was 7061, 7062 in those days for your qualifications. As I said, I stayed catering for about 13 years. Stressful. Anybody that's been a chef or is a chef knows the stress. It makes you bad-tempered. You quite often end up drinking too much because it sort of helps with the stress for a very short period of time. Anyway, so I left that probably age of 28, and I went driving 7.5 ton lorries for two or 3 years, which was quite nice, doing deliveries and stuff. I was pretty much my own boss. Money wasn't too bad in those days, so I stayed doing that for a while. Then I took a position in the company as supervisor, shift managers. They took about 4 or 6 of us in, I think. So I did that probably for another year, and then they gave us the shift patterns were horrendous. Every week was different. Well, it's not good for your health. You can't get into a sleep pattern, so I got out. I went back into chefing for a period of time. I had a fairly good reputation. It was pub restaurants, but it wasn't your rubbish food, your pinging microwave stuff. It was all created food. We were doing 200-ish Saturday night. It was a big old place. The people that took over from so it was the same place that I worked in many moons before, but it was taken over by somebody else. Oh my God. I mean, my boss could be a little bit of a tyrant, but then I was 15. Everybody seems like a tyrant, you know, when you're that young. Anyway, the new people that took it over, I just couldn't stay working for them. Oh, they weren't nice people. You know, I probably, to be fair, wasn't going through my best part of life, as I was going through a divorce at the time. So maybe I wasn't 100%. No, I definitely wasn't 100%. But there was no understanding, you know. It turns out that I'm not going to mention names, and this person probably will never see this, but it turns out, and I don't even think she admits to it even today, and she's on her third marriage, that she was an alcoholic. It made life extremely difficult. We stayed together 15 years. Wow, it was tough. It was a lot of wasted years, a lot of wasted years. So anyway, we got divorced, as you can imagine. I'm not going to babble on anymore about relationships and marriages and stuff like that. So I went on through life. I got to about 35, 36. A couple of years before, I actually took a job as a catering manager. So I stayed there a couple of years. I've always had it in my bones that I should be working for myself. But of course, I'm getting to 36 and thinking, whoa, you know, I've got to get on with this. So I left those guys. It was an okay job. Pay wasn't bad. I had 50 staff under me, which you can imagine the headaches. Some of the staff I'm actually really good friends with to this day. So what am I? That's heading on 18 years now. So it's nice to still be friends with, you know, some of the staff that I work with who actually are now friends and have been to my birthday parties and so on and so forth over the years. So what did I do? I went self-employed and started a carpet cleaning business. I went to Leicester, went on training courses, bought some equipment. Lo and behold, 6 months after leaving that job, I got hit with my first cancer. Oh dear. Now, it actually was my, so I got to move the smokes in my face. So it actually was my worst cancer. People might not think it when I go through the next lot, but it was my worst one. So obviously I had no job, no income. I was with a partner at the time, and so she was obviously keeping us. However, I did have critical illness cover. Please, people, get critical illness cover. If you haven't been ill before, get it. After I started getting better, before we go down that route. So I'm about just under 6 foot, 15 stone. So good average sort of guy. I went to 9 stone. 9. So where did I have my cancer? Well, I had my cancer in my throat. So you can see the red scarring. That's radiotherapy scarring. I was actually on a trial called the DeHanker, and it was a trial radiation treatment. Well, do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I did try and take my life. It was the most horrendous thing I've ever been through in my life. It literally nearly did kill me. And this isn't going to be bullshit. I was sick probably 10, 15 times a day for 3 months flat at least. My throat is is now narrow, so I do have problems swallowing. At this point, I couldn't even take in water. So I've got I laugh and say I've got a second belly button around here. So that's where I was peg fed into my stomach, and lost all the weight, 6 stone. Please don't think I'm getting upset and crying. We'll get to that bit in a minute. People are going to be, do you know what? I hope I don't bore you with this, because I'm trying to show people that you can get through stuff. It's not easy, and you are left with problems quite often, but you can get through it. Just look at that. So we got about 20, it's getting a little bit warmer. It's about 22, 23 degrees now. It's 21 on the way down, but it does get hot quite quick. So where do we go? So that took me 9 months to be able to start eating through my throat. No, it didn't. No, sorry. It took me 9 months to get better, to be able to go back to work. It took me probably 4 months, at least 4 months, to be able to start eating properly. And all I could eat was, you know, the tiny tins of baked beans, the really small cans. I could just about eat half of one of those. You imagine going from 15 stone to 9. Your stomach shrinks so much. Your throat is so painful and sore. So the scarring is because of radiotherapy. Burnt my throat all here. It also killed all the hair follicles. So my beard doesn't grow down my neck anymore. That's the only bonus. So I don't have to shave. I've got quite a nice beard line without having to shave it, which is cool. Although you can't see it now too well. It's going quite white. So what happened? I got better. I went back to doing my own business, promoting it the best I could. Started picking up work, increased my machines, better equipment. I've always been good at property maintenance. I've always done lots of renovating on my own houses and stuff. So a friend of mine who is an estate agent said to me, why don't you offer that service to estate agents? They always need people doing that, especially people they can rely on. So as well as the carpet cleaning, I also then started doing property maintenance for various estate agents in Taunton. I was really good, you know. I'd got married again. You know, things were sort of looking up. We were both getting better jobs. So we moved on. Bought a really lovely house, big Victorian. It was a big house. I looked at the price of it the other day. It's sold for, well, quite a bit over $250,000, which is, you know, a lot of money. I paid, I think, about 190 for it, somewhere around that. So it was big property. I loved it. So I was with my second wife for 10 years, and I don't know what went wrong there. Well, I do. So at the time of my cancer, and we were together, let's put it like this: if it wasn't for my mum at that point of time, I probably wouldn't be here. Yes, she came to hospital visits and stuff and that, but when I was home, medications and stuff like that, I was so ill. And, you know, I don't know, I don't know. To me, it's not the way that you look after a partner that's that seriously ill. Appreciated, you know, she was working. and but that wasn't good. And to me, I thought you could do a lot better. I wasn't happy. So that was it. So there was 2 marriages over 25 years, which, to be honest, 25 years is a long time. So 2 marriages to me doesn't seem too bad. And yes, okay, maybe people should try harder. But yeah, I have my reasons. So things move on. I went my own way, bought my own house. In actual fact, I nearly bought 2 houses. That was a long story. So I just about had enough of the 2 places that I wanted, and the whole plan was, one of them was a Victorian, which I converted into 4 bedrooms, and that was going to be my rental property. Students, people that just wanted a room rather than having to run a house and bills. So I did that. I rented out 3 of the rooms, and I lived with my tenants as well, back in the day, which it's all right, but I do like my own space. It wasn't great, but financially it was good. So the second house that I was in the process of buying, again, I'm not going to mention the person or estate agent. This estate agent, and I know this was 100% right. I've got another friend who's an estate agent and said, oh no, it couldn't be that person. I know this person, and I remember them 100%, and you wouldn't muddle them up. So this person at the time said to me, oh, they want more money. I said, I'm at my limit on this second house. Oh, well, if you can pay me £500, it was his own estate agent, and maybe I should have done something about it at the time, but then it was only hearsay. It was only my word against his. If you pay me £500, I'll make sure that they accept the offer. I just didn't have the extra money back then to pay the extra £500, which was such a shame. The house was worth it, and maybe I should have just bitten the bullet and just gone for it, and I don't know, borrowed them extra bit of money or something, because that plan then was to live in that house, and I wouldn't have lived with my tenants. So I would have had 2 room rents in that house. I say I wouldn't have lived with tenants. I would have, because I was going to put 2 tenants into the 3-bedroom house, and the 4-bedroom house would have been just. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, great, 6 tenants paying good money. This will carry on, and I can. Sorry, I keep sitting down. I can carry on and then hopefully go for a 3rd house, and so on and so forth. Get to a stage where, I'm doing pretty well for myself. Okay, well, that all went a bit tits up. Not at first. Anyway, I met Elisa, who is a wonderful lady. She's Italian, hence why we've got this piece of land in Italy, which her parents has given her. So what happened? Okay, so after my first lot of cancer, probably had 8 years clear. 8 years, worked hard, made some good money, I just kept going. Did all sorts, exterior cleaning, did it all properly though. Bought new van, all nicely sign written, and work was pretty good. Had some good jobs. Still did the carpet cleaning as well, until I binned that off, because it was getting so hot in the summer working in people's houses with machines generating heat as well. So I was cancer clear or cancer free for eight years, I think. And I started getting little white spots and swelling on my nose, and I'm like, oh God, what the hell's this? Well, I knew what it was straight away. So went to the consultant, and obviously previous cancer, anything above your neck, they're really quick with me, or always have been. They've been very good. I'll give them that. NHS is changing, unfortunately, now. It's not down to the staff. Obviously, it's down to the governments and fundings and stuff. So cancer had come back in my nose, which was a little bit bizarre. Somebody said to me, "You've never heard of nose cancer?" Well, no, nor would I, but hey, I got it. So I got cancer in the bone of the nose, which was spreading extremely quickly, came out through the skin, and obviously had to have major surgery straight away. Right, so first of all, what did they look at Graham getting? Look like a badger. So what they did basically is, let's come in closer and you see all the scarring then better. Do you know what? I don't normally show all this. So this is me being brave. So what they did was they cut my nose from here up to here, and they took all of this off. They took the bone out, and basically I was left with this huge hole in my face. Now, as quite understanding, I had a bit of a breakdown. So we came to Italy for 2 years. We stayed here. I had some prosthesis made for my nose to cover up, and one lady did them for me. She was absolutely brilliant, and that was in Southmead Hospital. She was absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, ended up going on maternity, or unfortunate for me, so she couldn't finish completing the ones that she was in the middle of making. Somebody else made them, who was the professional at the time. However, they weren't as good as hers. Sorry, just speaking the truth. Again, I'm not going to make any claims on names or anything, or mention people's names. Sorry, that's just not fair. I'm not into doing that. So, obviously, we were still in Europe at the time. It was before Brexit and all that. So why I had to jump through hoops to have my surgery back in the UK, in my homeland, where I'd paid my tax all the years. They made me jump through hoops. One person individual, can't remember his name, most vile human being. We exchanged some horrible emails in the end. Shame I didn't keep them. But it's quite funny how eventually he disappeared from the hospital. Apparently got sacked. Thank God for that, because just a horrible person. Can you imagine having your face all cut open and having to battle to have reconstruction surgery? Anyway, we had to move back to UK. Now, in the meantime, the house that I had, bearing in mind that I didn't get the second house that I wanted, so the house I had to sell. I had to live on the profits from that house. Wasn't fantastic, but it kept us going for 2 years while we were here. So we had to go back to the UK. We had nowhere to go. I had my dog with me. I had a couple of £1,000, I think, in my pocket. That was about it. And you're only talking, let me think, 7 or 8 years ago. So £2,000 wasn't really that much money 7 years ago. Anyway, so we went back. We spent nights sleeping in the little car that we had. We sofa surfed, friends' couches, stayed with my mum a little bit. I managed to get a job with a very, very good friend of mine who lives in Taunton. Window cleaning. You know, he paid me quite well on a daily basis, and that allowed me to get on, basically. So bearing in mind that I'm working with a hole in my face, getting people looking and staring at me, but I'm still grafting and getting on with it. Some people are nice, want to know your story, which is, you know, I'm happy. You know, I had all sorts of horrible people, as you can imagine. I'm quite thick-skinned to a degree, but it does get to you a little bit after a while. So after battling with people in the NHS and consultants and the likes of, I had my reconstruction. Well, that was a 9.5-hour surgery. My face looked like Mike Tyson had literally finished me off. I'm going to sit back down a minute. Excuse me, I need some water. It gets really hot, as you can imagine here. And because of my throat cancer that I had, I've got to keep my throat hydrated as well. Yeah, so definitely looked like Mike Tyson had beat the hell out of me. So I have got a picture of before, in between and after surgeries, which I'm quite happy to post if people want to see it, because to be fair, they've done a fantastic job. If you've seen what it was like, then yeah, you'd be like, Jesus, it actually looks really good now, considering. So what did they do? So they've basically, I've got a huge scar across my chest where they took out a rib. So they took the rib out and they've put it in as a support for this piece. So so it goes up to about here, I think, the bone area, and then there's metal plates in here, and then it all bolts and screws together. So this piece here has come from this big area here. So what they do is they cut all of this round. In actual fact, you can't see the staples, but they actually peeled my face down. They cut this out and they place, they twist it over. So they twist it and then they place it over, and you're left with this funny little piece like this for about 2 or 3 weeks sticking out. Funny thing, really weird. And that ends up being split and then pushed up into this area here. You can see that big deep scar, and then up around there, and then this big one here. So the skin that's on this bit has come from my leg. So I've got a big patch sort of here where they've done a skin graft. It's not interesting to see. It's just a square patch of skin missing. So that took a long time to heal. People ask me if I breathe properly. Yes, I can breathe properly. Do I have separate nasal passages? No, I do not. It's all open. why do my eyes water? So basically radiotherapy was really blatted here. It has affected my eyes. My eyes water all the time because my tear ducts are blocked, hence why I'm getting bags under my eyes, because I'm constantly doing this, and I shouldn't do it, but I do, because you just tend to forget, and that's, if your eyes water, that's what you do, you wipe your eyes. But I've been doing it for a long time now, so the skin's getting quite dark and thin, but there you go. Maybe I need a bit of a facelift. I definitely need a haircut. My hair's getting a bit long. So anyway, that I recovered from that, as you can see. That's been, oh dear. So the surgery's been 6 years ago, roughly. Okay, so yeah, I'm really happy with what they've done. I mean, you can't tell too much on the old screen. Well, I can't, because I've got sunlight shining on my screen a little bit. So that's sort of that, really. And then I spent, after I got better from that and healed, I went back to work. Added more things into my cleaning, did roof cleaning, bought a big cherry picker so it would lift me up. We cleaned roofs, had staff at the time. Well, we stayed in the UK for 6 years, getting better and, you know, making a little bit of money and stuff, but cost of living's gone through the roof, as everybody knows. You know, rent, I mean, we had to rent. It's the first time I rented in my life. I bought my first house at 18. I just worked so hard, probably knackered myself out, really. So I've now got to, well, I'll be 55 this year. So that's a lot of my story. Where am I now? So I'm now, as many of you know, sat in an olive grove in the middle of Italy, enjoying a little bit of fresh air, some shade from the olive trees, trimming them back. Hopefully we'll get some fruit from them this year, which will go towards, obviously, a small income and the likes of. I don't really have any money. I could have stayed in the UK and made money a lot easier. I just find the pace of life extremely stressful there, and I really don't need stress. Stress feeds cancer. So if you've had cancer, or, you know, keep yourself as stress-free as possible. I do eat a lot healthier here. Also, you know, the weather's much better for my joints. I've got arthritis coming in my hands from constant pressure on jet washers and triggers. You know, I'm not moaning about it. I get on with it, but obviously just giving insight into why I like it here. So somebody said to me the other day, well, your eyebrow doesn't move right. So it doesn't move very well. So as you can see, this one moves quite normal. This one, obviously, there's a lot of scar tissue, and it doesn't move so well. So when you see people do these funny videos when they mess around with their eyebrows and stuff, and some of it's quite fake, in actual fact, mine does go a good bit higher than the other one. And I just make a joke of most things now. I am quite worn out. The radiotherapy has damaged lots of glands in my neck, so my thyroids don't work properly. It's damaged glands in my head and stuff, and I get dizzy spells here and there. My eyesight, I now wear glasses for reading and glasses for driving, which I never needed before. Yeah, okay, maybe I would have started getting a little deterioration in my eyesight because I'm getting a little bit older now. Definitely sped up the process. Definitely. I'm going to keep everybody posted. I wasn't going to do a video like this, but my mate said to me, you've had such a difficult life and you've not stopped and you've kept going, and you know, you have got to a stage where you've been that low that you've wanted to take your life, and it's a horrible feeling. It is a horrible feeling. You can get past it. There's nice people out there. You know, I've spoken to some lovely people. Do you know what? I've made friends with a chappie that when I was selling a lot of stuff that I had in the UK, this really lovely chap bought stuff off me, and he's gonna see this video, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he'll know who he is. So it's funny how you start talking to people. He's doing a very similar project to what we're doing here in France. Now he'll definitely know who he is now. He's such a kind person, and you know, I mean, I've got people that I've known all my life that, in actual fact, I probably, I don't know. You know, they're really good friends and mates and stuff. And there's loads and loads of friends I've got, which I speak to, not on a daily basis. But I don't know, this chap was a really nice guy, and I really clicked with him because we've got similar ideas to what we want to do on our lands. Now our land's really steep here, really steep, and on the video you can't see. Let's turn that around. So this falls off really steeply, and all of this, just, you know, the video just doesn't show how steep it is, and it just never does. And then it really falls away down here, and it carries on going right down to the bottom, right down there. I mean, that's like a jungle in there, but there's a lot of space to clear. There'll be a lot of land. There's some amazing places, little not coves, but little areas that are going to be ideal for having a bell tent for people. And we want to sort of like almost well-being, sort of eat well, come here, chill, and just away from hustle and bustle. So we've got to trim back here. So obviously there you can see the sea. So this tree will probably come down. It's not an olive tree, that one. I don't think, I can't tell from here. But that will give us a real beautiful view of the sea. There's a little old house here that we have shown on a previous video. We're hoping to rebuild it up and make it sort of like either storage for tools and equipment or something like that. You can't see, can you see? Where are we? All right, just up there. Little lizard just going up over the top. And then we're back down there. So this is a long video, and you'll never get a video probably as long as this again. But things take time to explain. People have asked a little bit about, you know, a couple of the scars, and I'm happy to share, you know. How do I keep going? Jeez, I don't know. I really don't know. I've got a very good partner that keeps me going. My family are tough. My mum's very tough. She's been through 2 lots of cancer. I had 2 lots of cancer. My nan had 2 lots of cancer. So the family, we've been pretty battered as a family. But but we do get on with it. We do get on with it. And, you know, some people, in actual fact, the only person that's in my life that's seen me really, really ill is my mum. I do have a brother. He's seen quite a bit, but we don't live, well, we definitely don't live anywhere near each other now. But we didn't live that close to each other anyway, and we're a little bit different. I love my brother to bits, but we're very different people. I am quite happy to drop earnings from the UK and live here on very little money, but have a better quality of life. And it's taken me a long time to learn and understand that the quality of life is better than having lovely cars, nice houses, loads of money in your pocket. And I could say maybe we don't all have the opportunity that I've got now. However, it's so cheap to live down here, as in buying a house or buying a land and creating your own place on the land. There's a piece of grass keeps poking me. I wonder what was poking me. I didn't want it to be a snake come and bite me in the ass or something. So quality of life is more important. I mean, I don't know. If you've got some money in your pocket and you can have quality of life as well, then that's great. But if you've got to make a choice between quality of life and money, then look after yourself and go for quality of life, and just reduce maybe how you live. Maybe take that plunge, try and move to a different country. You know, try for citizenship, you know, get a small job. If you had a small job and you can support yourself through that, that's almost good enough. As long as you're not a drain on, obviously, their government and society. You're then spending money here, which is obviously good for the economy. Don't expect to come here and earn the sort of money that you would earn in the UK. You know, what's it now? £11-12 an hour minimum wage or something like that. I don't even know, because obviously I worked for myself for many years. I mean, you wouldn't earn €10 an hour here. They'd probably pay you €50-60 a day. But when you consider you can rent a place here for €200 a month, so your rent's £50 or €50 a week. Let's say you earn €50 a day, leaves you €200 a week to feed yourself. If you've got a little bit of land, you grow a lot of your own stuff. It's going to be a long time before we grow stuff here, but we will. The soil here is absolutely fantastic. It is really nice. I've been really lazy. I've been sat here chatting for an hour and got no work done. So I do need to get on. So I'm gonna close this off at 3/4 of an hour video. I hope it doesn't bore people. I do sit and watch some videos that are an hour, 2 hours long if I'm sat in the evenings. But as a friend said to me, I should tell my story. And actually, I feel really good for sort of getting it off my chest. So I don't have tons of energy. I don't really have any money, or very little. And when I say little, I mean little. We do have this piece of land, and we are extremely grateful for having it. And this is why I'm trying to do the crowdfunding. So we've been asking sort of companies or individuals. We're looking for 15,000, and the reason we're looking for that is that will purchase a tractor. Being this is so steep here, you need something with tracks. Otherwise it could be quite dangerous and tip. Somebody said to me, oh, maybe 15,000 is a little bit too much to ask for at first for your first crowdfunding. I agree. It could possibly be. That should, though, only be the only time that we ask for any help, is for this piece of equipment. I had somebody say you could get somebody in to do it. You can get somebody in. You can't hire the vehicles yourself. It doesn't work like that here. You can get somebody in to do the work. However, the amount of work that's here, we would be spending every penny that we've got hiring somebody in to clear land and stuff, and we wouldn't be able to survive and eat. So that isn't a possibility, I'm afraid. The tractor, or the plan for the tractor, will also be, so when we have the olive crops at the end of the year, they've got to be taken up the top. So you might be able to see how steep it is from. So this goes all the way down. Oh, this just doesn't show it. So it's got to go all the way up there. So the distance from the bottom to the top is probably 500 meters. Not straight up, but it's a hell of a gradient, and you wouldn't get up it. I've got a quad bike that I had years ago here, which unfortunately doesn't run anymore at the moment. We are hoping to get it running because it will make my life slightly easier getting up and down with chainsaws and stuff, because it is a killer. When I'm down in the bottom, right down there, I will point it upwards, and you will then definitely see how steep and how bad it is. What if I zoom in, maybe? See, that up there is a huge area. You might think, oh, it just goes up a little bit like that. That is massive. It's got to be at least 500 meters up, if not even more. But now I am waffling, and so I will. I thank everybody who's watched this. If anybody wants to speak to me about cancers or anything that they've gone through, they want to share their story, or they're going through something tough and they want to talk to me, then I'll talk to anybody. If you're going to come on here and abuse me and go, oh, look at your scars, not bothered. Okay. I've been through more than so many people will ever go through, hopefully, which is a good thing. So if you're a troll, you don't bother me, all right? You just get blocked. It's so simple. Don't need it. This is not a negative channel, all right? Anyway, ciao for now.